say, male members of the parliament to be that much interested in discussing female issues. And also maybe the responsibility of raising the awareness about female issues and women issues relates more to the, let's say, hopefully the expected contributions of civil societies in Kuwait, especially civil societies that are interested in dealing with women issues. And maybe with time, with social progress, and maybe with the raising of political awareness, more Kuwaiti women would get the opportunity to succeed, inshallah.
Yes, hopefully that would be the case. Can you tell us more about the certain things that the members of the parliament should do and could do in order to avoid the previous mistakes that we saw in the National Assembly?
Okay. Well, the outgoing, some of the, say, shortcomings of the outgoing parliament relate more to the disconnect between many members of the previous parliament with their own electorates, meaning with their own voters. And hopefully the current parliament would be more effective in regards to voicing out, let's say, the issues or the interests of, or maybe the things that many Kuwaiti people worry about, say, especially in regards to the rising of prices, or maybe the housing, or maybe the improvement of the educational curriculums, or maybe even the improvement of the health services. And one would expect that if the most members of the parliament succeed in avoiding repeating the belligerent anti/government discourse, or anti, let's say, or the kind of negative issues that we should have overcame after the recent elections. If these issues will be repeated, this would mean that the current parliament, or at least a number of members of the parliament, would not contribute positively to the democratic discourse in Kuwait. And one would expect from people who have, like, say, members of parliament who already have a huge experience in dealing with national issues, to overcome any say, difficulties that they had in the past.
So what could they do in order to have a very positive impact?
Well, it just depends on their personal choices when it comes in reality, for truth. In other words, they should always remember that whatever they do in the parliament will be monitored and observed by their own voters and by the whole Kuwaiti society, if you like. And they should always remember that they only have a limited time, to deal with the issues that they are supposed to deal with. Unless they do this, unless they remember, they continue to remember their, say, legal and, let's say, legislative responsibilities, nothing will happen. I mean, ultimately we'll have another elections, and maybe some members will be replaced, and thus the same
cycle would go on and on.
The same destructive, if you like, cycle of belligerent, let's say, discourses and let's say, negative dialogues would continue. However, we need something else. We need something new, especially with the success, or with the success of new and young members of the parliament. We hope that these people, these younger generations of the MPs, would be more effective in achieving at least most of our aspirations.
Do you have any last words for tonight, since yesterday was the inauguration of the 15th National Assembly?
Okay. Well, my only recommendation for our dear colleagues, MPs, they should remember that they only have a very limited time to improve our culture, improve our economy, and basically fulfill what they have already promised their voters. They promised their voters so many things and so many issues. However, one needs to be also rational about some of the demands that cannot be achieved. In other words, they should work within a very constructive environment, or at least they are responsible more of constructing this, constructive environment, unless they do so, nothing else will happen. No improvement will happen, and no success will be achieved in Kuwait. And hopefully they would do much better than the outgoing parliament.
Yes, hopefully we wish the very best. Thank you so much, Doctor, for being here tonight with us.
You're welcome.
It's always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
We're going to cut to another report, which is the Embassy of Kyrgyzstan celebrating their 25th anniversary of independence.
On the occasion of the 25th anniversary of the Independence Day of Kyrgyzstan, its embassy in Kuwait recently held a reception at the Crown Plaza Hotel. Kyrgyzstan's recorded history spans over 2,000 years, encompassing a variety of cultures and empires. Although isolated by its highly mountainous terrain, which has helped preserve its ancient culture, Kyrgyzstan has historically been at the crossroads of several great civilizations, namely as part of the Silk Road and other commercial and cultural routes. Though long inhabited by a succession of independent tribes and clans, Kyrgyzstan has come under foreign domination and attained sovereignty as a nation-state only after the breakup of the Soviet Union in 1991. Since independence, Kyrgyzstan has officially been a unitary parliamentary republic, although it continues to endure ethnic conflicts, revolts, economic troubles, transitional governments, and political party conflicts. Kyrgyzstan is a member of the Commonwealth of Independent States, the Eurasian Economic Union, the Collective Security Treaty Organization, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, the Turk Council, and the United Nations. In October 1991, Akayev ran and was elected president of the new independent republic by direct ballot, receiving 95% of the votes cast. Together with the representatives of 7 other republics, that same month, he signed the Treaty of the New Economic Community. Finally, on 21st of December 1991, Kyrgyzstan joined with the other 4 Central Asian republics to formally enter the new Commonwealth of Independent States. Kyrgyzstan gained full independence a few days later, on 25th of December 1991. The following day, on 26th of December 1991, the Soviet Union ceased to exist. In 1992, Kyrgyzstan joined the United Nations and the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, which is OSCE. On 5th of May 1993, the official name changed from the Republic of Kyrgyzstan to the Kyrgyz Republic.
Welcome back. I'm here with our second guest for tonight, Dr. Muna Hamid Al-Amiri. She's a lecturer at the Higher Institute of Dramatical Arts in Kuwait. Hello and welcome to our show, Dr. Muna.
Hi, thank you for being with you.
It's always a pleasure to have you here. Can you tell us more about the origins of launching the festival that is taking place tonight?
Well, the theatrical day in the world should be on the 21st of March. Usually, since 1989, it was on March. But in Kuwait, it started in March, but with years, it became now in December. So that was the reason, the original reason why the theatrical event is taking place in Kuwait now.
Very nice. And tonight, it is marking its 17th annual event, festival event, and the Minister of Information is attending as well. Can you tell us more about the organization of the event, what sort of things we would see, and how long it would take?
Well, this festival will end on the 21st of December. There will be 7 theatrical performances competing in this festival, and me personally, I'm looking forward to see these performances every night. It's like a theatrical event. You asked about the people behind this event. I think, well, it is the National Council for Culture, Arts and Letters. They are the organizers and the suppliers for this event in Kuwait.
Very nice. And year by year, things differ and change. Maybe the theme changes. Can you tell us what makes this year so special based on all the years before?
There is no big difference between the event yearly. From 17 years, it has been going on, having new ideas performed on theater, on stage. Every year there are prizes for the best performance, for the best costume, lighting, decoration, text, directing, and also there are people who usually gets nominated and honored.
Can you tell us
Yes.
some of the names for this year, the very famous names for nominated this year?
Sure. There is Dr. Mohammed Mbarak Blal. He's a lecturer at the Higher Institute for Dramatical Arts. He teaches criticism, and he is nominated. He will be honored this year because of the books he wrote about the Kuwaiti and the Arabian Gulf theater.
Wow, that sounds exciting.
It is. For me, this person, Dr. Muhammad, taught me when I was a student.
Oh, very nice.
And my PhD is a continuous stage for his PhD, because he was talking about in his PhD about the Kuwaiti theater since 1934, and then he stopped at 1973. I continued his PhD from 1973 until 2004.
Oh, wow.
The information usually Dr. Mohammed Mbarak Blal gives us while we were students and while we are researchers, his thesis is accurate. You know,
very specific.
Very
so
specific.
what does he tend to specify in his thesis? If you could tell us more about it.
When he talked about the Kuwaiti theater, he talked about in every chapter, he talked about the general idea. What can we call the stage of? We could call it the historical stage for theater. I mean, the Kuwaiti theater, for an example, started with scholastic theater. It was only on schools because theater was
Banned,
subject. Like now in schools, in primary schools, they used to teach theater, and the end of the year project would be a
play.
His Highness Sheikh Ahmed Al-Jabir, he was one of the people who played on the first performance.
That's amazing.
It was called Omar Al-Khattab. And every year the last prize or the last project of the school would be a play. And they used to use very simple things. Dr. Mohammed Mbarak had information from the people who was at this place at this time. He visited these places, he had photos, he talked about every single thing on the introduction and how to give how these performances took place, and then he talked about the other stages. Then the Kuwaiti theater moved to another stage when it was started with Muhammad al-Najmi, 1945, the public theater. The language which was used at this time was the Kuwaiti accent. That's why it's popular theater called. Those people like Muhammad al-Najmi was working on the morning, and then the afternoon he would go with friends and do these plays. And then the stage after was the university theater, because many students from the university
Demanded?
try to do a theater stage where Kuwaitis at that time, the Kuwaiti theater, I would say, were using the Arabic language, the
Fusha, was it?
Al-Fusha language.
So it wasn't the Kuwaiti dialect, it was more
It was a
focused-
stage. That was a stage, and then in 1973 started another stage where Al-Fusha Arabic
started.
language was used in theater.
Very interesting.
And then, yes,
Yeah.
sorry, you
And
were
then-
saying.
Yeah, and then you continued on. That's where you picked up your PhD from 1973.
Yes.
Can you tell us the following stages that you found in your thesis paper?
Sure. There is a stage on which Kuwaiti theater decreased. It was on 1990. The Iraqi invasion took place in Kuwait. On this time, all the entertainment, the cultural,
It went down.
went
for
down,
that cause.
ended actually. And then after that, sorry, before that, there was a golden stage
Okay, so
of
in
the
the
Kuwaiti
80s,
on the
1980s,
80s,
okay.
where the performances for kids took place. The Arabian Gulf.
What sort of plays were taking place in the 1980s, since you say it's the golden era for Kuwait?
Yes, it's golden era for the theater of kids, because there was different plays, performances at this time was really done well. At this time, many audiences were attending, and many people from other countries outside Kuwait used to come to Kuwait to
Just
see,
to watch the theater.
just to watch the theater. It
Very
was
nice.
improved. But after that, as we said about the Iraqi invasion,
So that's when it stopped.
and then when it
When
stopped,
did it come and pick up its track back to what it was in the Kuwaiti theater?
all the work can go to Al Grain Festival. Al Grain Festival started direct after the liberation of Kuwait, and started to bring all the academic researchers coming to Kuwait and making Kuwait the capital of culture in 2004. And then culture, performances and theater started to come back to Kuwait. I would call this stage the academic stage, and we are still in this process of festival academic theatrical stages.
You stopped 2004, now it's 2016, the end of 2016.
Yes.
So we've got more than 10 years, 12 years perhaps.
Yes.
Can you tell us what has been happening in the world of theater here in Kuwait?
I can see a lot of festivals going on. On the past, it was only Al Grain Festival.
Now, how many
festival.
Numerous
Yes.
festivals there are? Can you name us a few, including this one that you're talking about tonight?
Sure, there used to be Al Khurafi Festival. It stopped a few years ago, and then the Kuwaiti current festival, the Arabian Gulf Festival, and the festival for youth, also the academic festival, and of course Al Grain Festival. All of these.
What's the most recent one for the festivals?
You mean coming?
Yes.
Yes, it will be the academic festival, will be taking place at the Higher Institute of Dramatical Arts, where I work. Usually we invite people from Arabic, and now it's becoming international. Like we invited people from Italy last year, and from also Spain.
That's very interesting to hear that there is an international contribution. Can you tell us more about the international aspect of theater here in Kuwait?